US Palm, a company founded in the early 2000s, best known for their made in the USA AK grips and AK magazines. So really one of the first USA AK modernization accessory type of companies. Well, they were bought by Century Arms back in 2016. I started seeing a lot of their magazines coming back into popularity around that time. And then comes 2026. So just a complete curveball at SHOT Show this past year. You probably saw a couple of my videos on it. US Palm came out with not only suppressors, but the Storm. And there's a lot to love. It's a really cool new AR to the market, but none of that matters if it doesn't shoot. And I will say, there's a couple of quirks to it we're going to talk about here in just a little bit, and some things to watch out for. But overall, there's a lot of good to be had that's coming out here soon. Comes with one Magpul PMag, which I guess is standard, but I'd love to see more manufacturers rocking like at least 3 in the box. Like, they're cheap enough, right? So that'd be cool to kind of see that. Super smooth. At its heart, it is just a billet lower receiver based AR, but it does have a ton of features you don't normally see on an AR like this. You might have seen me using my trigger finger to rock that BCG home there, that bolt carrier group, because there's actually a paddle on this side for locking it, as well as releasing the BCG, as well as magazine releases. You got one on this side, and you got one on the right side like you would normally see. Safety has a 45-degree throw, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's kind of what I like to see. In fact, when I used to go after building ARs or whatever it is, getting my own AR in, I would go and try to get that 45-degree throw. It's just easier. Of course, all ambi, and this is a true now, just all ambi. Like, every control is ambidextrous, which is really good. And just super flat. They have this very interesting muzzle device on here. It's like a twisted flash hider. This is a NATO 1-in-7 twist 5.56 barrel, and I tricked it out to be light and just real simple, and that's what it is. I mean, it is a nice lightweight AR. One of the more accurate ARs that I have, actually, so I'm curious to see how this stacks up on paper, because it's hitting steel at 25 and 50, no issues. It's about as far as I can go out in this range I have right now that's available. But I mean, if you could do that, you could push it out even further. Get an LVPO on there. Heats up nice. Easy to grab, nice and cool down, plenty of slots. I think it's a 7-slot M-LOK rail on here. And this is not my first time out. I actually shot it quite a bit the past week or so, and it's actually kind of a pre-release. Ended up getting this from US Palm. I have to talk with those guys at SHOT Show, but that doesn't stop me from talking about what I really feel about it. And like I said, there's a couple of quirks on here that I'm going to keep a close eye on, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Look at some accuracy on paper. Let's talk about a little close-up on what this is, nice and close, kind of how they put this together. What are some of the special features on it? What I like, what I don't like, and then we'll wrap this video up. So we're right at 35 yards, which is like, you know, we could probably get 45 out of this bay, maybe. But what I really want to see is accuracy. So I have Fiocchi 5.56 55 grain and 5 rounds. And I've slapped everything into this Bog Death Grip, which actually I don't think I've shown on the channel before, but I see a lot of these at range days. So I thought it'd be cool to go out at 35 yards with the US Palm Storm and just see how she does at this distance and how close the groupings are. Now, I put a bunch of rounds on paper already because I needed to sight this EOTech in. I was using another red dot my last range day. This is like my second range day with this. Probably pushing about 250 rounds so far. Obviously no issues. It's super accurate, just offhand, hitting steel plates and things like that. So I don't expect the groupings to widen up or anything crazy like that. I'm gonna aim a little high. Let's see how we do. 5 rounds, here we go. Nice and slow. That trigger really helps with that too. Get the accuracy out of there. I do like this right side manipulation of that BCG. Let's take a look, shall we? EOTechs, of course, are a circle dot configuration holographic sight. So take that for what it is, no magnification. I mean, that's probably why we're doing just fine for hitting those plates. I was aiming right here because I didn't want to kind of interfere with some of the mess I was working with. EOTech was already down here, so I cranked it up. You can kind of see just walking it up, a little pass, went over, cranked it up a little bit. Now should be almost perfect. I might go a little to the left, but I was aiming right there. So I can't complain with that right there. There's some accuracy data for you. I was messing around with this thing, put a couple videos on Instagram and like YouTube shorts and stuff the last week. And I was surprised just because it's such a simple design with that hurricane, they call it, the twisted flash hider there. It is light and super easy to get back on target. And I like a lot of the feature sets it has, and everything seems well built. You know, sometimes you might get a little bit of rattle or something, but it's just solid. It feels like a good quality AR, which is good because it's approaching that realm of like BCM. I don't know what you guys think about Daniel Defense, but it's that kind of level of expected quality. This isn't just some rinky-dink thrown together thing. Let me show you up close on the table here what this is made of, some of the features, and then we'll talk about what I like, and then more importantly, things to be desired. Comes in a nice US Palm case, nice US Palm logo everywhere, decent quality. I mean, just a standard rifle case, paperwork, admin pouch, comes with one PMag, has 3 slots. It would have been cool to fill these 3 up. I just feel like companies should start filling these things up. I just, more than 1 mag, having 3, especially if like this is your only rifle or something going in, then it'd be nice to have all 3. And then you open it up, you got the rifle itself. You can kind of see that it is high quality. I think there's a couple of different colorways. This is black. There's something else called like the Cat 5, which is like a crazy Cerakote job. Looks kind of like a Storm. Pretty neat, but I did slap on a light for this review and a little Surefire, a BCM hand stop, nice and light. EOTech, an old school EOTech, pretty cool. And that's about it. Everything else comes with it. It does come with this Magpul beefed up DT collapsible stock there. Pretty nice, and it's a nice little touch to have that on there from Magpul. I'm curious if US Palm is going to start coming out with their own stocks or not, because they definitely have their new grip here. It's called their Reduced Angle Grip by US Palm. And the other product on here that is US Palm is this right here, which is that flash hider we talked about. It's called their Hurricane. It's like a Hurricane hybrid flash hider compensator. It works really well. I can't say under nods, you know, under night vision if it's going to work really well, but just the design of it seems to keep everything very flat, as you can tell in the range. It seems to work pretty good. The barrel is very interesting. It's that 1-in-7 twist 5.56 barrel. It's pretty beefy. It doesn't feel like it's a heavy barrel, but it is a straight barrel. There's not a whole lot of cuts or anything to it. You do have a standard gas block in there. It looks like would have been nice. It's actually kind of like a low profile gas block too, like more low than you think. It's kind of like shortened, which is cool, but you do have that right there. Would have been nice to see an adjustable gas in there, but you know, kind of brings it up to another level if you do adjustable for a stock rifle like this. So I can see why they didn't put it in there. You could probably get one in there and squeeze one in if they want. There's plenty of them out there that do that. This rail system here is very unique as well. It's cut kind of different, kind of adds that hurricane storm kind of feel to it. It is a 7-sided monolock handguard system, they call it. And the reason why they call it that is if you look over here, it is cut in a way that matches up perfectly with the upper. I can't say that I've seen something like that before, if you look at that there, because it just form fits perfectly to that, and you have this anti-tilt mechanism that's built in to make it almost like a monolithic style of rifle, where normally you might have a couple little anti-rotation tabs or something like that. But it's good to see they come out with some kind of innovative approach to that. I've never had too many rifles. Maybe early on some handguards would kind of feel wobbly over time, but this is going to make it so this is never going to move anywhere, which is pretty nice to see. M-LOK feels really good. You can obviously slap accessories on it pretty easily. Coming back here, you can see US Palm is slapped on just about everywhere. And I mean, they're probably pretty proud of this. This is their first AR kind of rifle going, actually the first rifle at all, really, not just an AR. It's definitely a first AR, but first rifle. And it's just nice to see them, I guess, just bringing out something new to the market and with that US Palm name. So you have this billet aluminum receiver here, which this lower receiver is a 7075 T6 aluminum. It's a Type 3 hard coat anodized, and it's a Type 3 hard coat anodized 7075 T6 aluminum upper receiver as well. Billet, which means it's kind of its own thing, right? It's not just stamped like a normal AR upper and lower receiver clearly, right? There's even holes for screws and things like that, and that's something we're going to talk about, especially with this brass deflector here with that assist right there, because there are screws here, and anytime you add screws to a system, there's a risk to it, and we'll talk about that a little bit here in a minute with my pros and cons and overall impression of the rifle. A little bit of cuts here to kind of help with the mag well. I wouldn't say it's like that steep, but it's something. It's not nothing. It's definitely a nice little mag well. It's kind of flared out just a little bit there and helps pretty good with the reloads. I like that. It's subtle, right? And you have a built-in extended oversized trigger guard here to kind of get your gloves in there if you want. Now, if you're down in West Palm Beach where this is made, I don't know if you'll need gloves like that. You never know, but pretty cool to see. The trigger is a Hyperfire EDT designated marksman trigger, and it does really well. Let me flip this around for us. There's that 45 degree, no go, go. I don't think I've ever had a Hyperfire before. It's nice. Single stage. Busting this open real quick. Let's see. Pull this pin. YouTube, I'm just gonna take this apart in case you need to learn about maintenance here. Oh yeah, a little drop in there, a little green you can kind of see in there. Okay, I was curious about that. Everything's real tight. Nice and form-fitting in there. BCG. Pretty standard BCG on there. I don't know if this is their own US Palm. Doesn't look like it. Oh, look at that. Maybe they're gonna start selling their own US Palm on there too. A little charging handle. Dual charging handle there. Been shooting this thing a lot, so getting a little dirty. There's a forward assist right there. Rarely use that, but it's nice to see. I think the reason why they made it so it's an external part and not just milled into the upper receiver like you normally would see is they may have an option down the road to take this apart and then make it just straight flat-sided if you want to get rid of that. But who knows, there might be a way to adjust that or customize this down the road. I think they kind of leave that open. No little storage for Skittles there. No storage for Skittles in the stock. Let's see, looks like we're staked properly right there, so you don't have to worry about this ever rotating off. So something like this is kind of good to go. I will say you may want to get some QDs on here. You have a QD on the stock, which is great, but there's no QDs up here anywhere. Although machine QDs into handguards, I've seen kind of get shredded up quite a bit. So just because your aluminum handguards on here kind of get shredded with the steel ball bearings. So take that as it were. You can kind of go and get some M-lock adapters on here, or some rail adapters for QD, but there's not really a way to attach a sling otherwise, it looks like, than just the stock right now. So you will have to make that adjustment. But pick rail looks good, nice and clean, flush all the way across, no real gaps there. Now looking at some of the features over here, you can kind of see you do have the mag release. How this works is this side pushes out, pulls out this part here that is directly linked to a traditional magazine release button right here. So when you push this magazine release button, you usually have this part here. Normally you push this all the way in and twist this around to take this apart, switch it out. But now you have this piece as well on here that is a part of the whole system. You can go and drop your mag on the left, drop your mag on the right. And then same goes for the bolt catch. So typically you're rocking a bolt catch, you pull this back and you have to go and lock the bolt back like this and then release it like that. Well, now you can pull it back, take your trigger finger, flip up, and it locks really well. Like, it's nice and firm. Normally you can hit it and it'll fall. Of course, you hit it right here, it's going to go release, but now, and I kind of like that. I like the idea of having that option there. So that is nice to see. Let's shoot some more, talk about some more pros and cons, wrap this up. In conclusion, what do I like about the rifle? Well, accuracy is great. The weight is fantastic. A lot of times you get these rifles where they just seem like they're overly front heavy and it just doesn't seem to balance well. With this one, I mean, it's a 7-pound rifle. It's not like out of the ordinary. Well, whatever they did to the barrel, to the handguard, and then they have the weight back here, which I would rather have a little more weight back here than on the end here. I wanted to kind of feel a little more balanced. Whatever they did seems very well done. The balance is good. I think the features, like the little twisty hurricane flash hider there, looks wacky, but works really well. I set this up so I can go have the hand stop perfectly right there and use the light. Very easy. I know pressure pads are still hot, I get it, but this is all you need and nothing you don't, which is really a good theme, I think, to this rifle, with a couple of exceptions. It's everything you need and nothing you don't. And overall, I think they did a great job. They're trying to aim, I think, for like that BCM type of area, kind of, you know, a true mid-tier rifle, like not super high-end customized, but an everyman rifle that has a ton of different features on it that you might want to see out of a modern AR in 2026. I mean, it's just so fun to shoot. And it's, the gas isn't too bad. I haven't suppressed it yet, but the gas doesn't seem too bad. And then check out the ejection pattern here. Like, it's right about 2, maybe 3, somewhere right about there. It seems really nice for what it is. I like the side here on the right where you can go and drop that bolt carrier group on there. Some things that I don't like. So obviously there's a lot to really kind of admire to what they did to this rifle, and it seems to be fast approaching one of my new favorite ARs for sure, especially in 2026. Might be one of my go-tos in general, but a couple of things, we kind of talked about it. I think an adjustable gas block would have been cool. I just think that, yeah, it's 2026. What if we want to go and suppress it, do some adjustability there? I think they could easily fit an adjustable gas block in there. I don't know if billet was the 100% way to go. I like it because it's kind of a custom feel. My other rifle that I really like is also a billet, and it has that custom feel to it. It might have added a little bit more weight to that design, but it has a lot of built-in features. And this, I don't think I've seen on the right side here, like a lock back for the BCG. I've seen the 45-degree throw. I don't think I've ever seen a left side magazine release. I'm sure other companies have done it, but you know, they could have just gone even simpler if you wanted to, but I get it. It's kind of customized. I like it. I don't think the screw placement here is a great idea. I think that you could have easily just made this part of the billet when you cut everything out and milled it out for that forward assist. And the reason being is if you open this up, I looked, the screw goes straight through the upper receiver. Not saying that's gonna cause a problem, but let's say this breaks off or comes loose and then you go and over torque it, that screw somehow, which there's like a millimeter of recessed screw in there, so you have a little bit of room, right? But let's say you push past that millimeter and get into the channel, and all of a sudden now you have a problem where the BCG is locking up. You're like, what's happening? Well, there's a screw sticking in there. Not to say that could happen. I haven't seen this loose, nothing loose on here, no issues in the last 300-400 rounds so far in the last couple of range sessions, but I think it's something to keep an eye out for. I would have put some QDs on the back. I hear a lot of people talking about that there's like, oh, no one puts QDs on the back anymore, and a lot of them slap it automatically built into the handguard. We talked about that. It could kind of chew it up a little bit and kind of mess up your handguard and end up kind of not working out too well in the end. But I like having the stock with a QD, and then I like having a QD up here somewhere. Would have been cool to either provide that or mill in something for a QD. I don't know, but at least a back plate would have been nice to have something to have a sling available there, but I don't know. Something to look out for though. I will say if you're looking for something a little more higher end, US Palm, this Storm, I mean, you can see it runs, and that's really what it's all about, making sure it runs smooth. And I might suppress it, but I do like this little flash hider here. It's pretty neat what they did with that, and it seems to work really well. So hope you guys learned something about this new Storm rifle. I haven't seen too many videos on it yet. It's just coming out now to the market, so I thought it'd be cool to do a video on it real quick and talk about what I thought about it overall so far. I might do a follow-up. I might shoot it some more over the summer, kind of see how it does, and I'll bring you an update if any of the problems I discussed pose any actual issues down the road. But hope you guys enjoyed the data points in this video today. Train hard, use your rifles, shoot your rifles, get out to the range as much as possible. It's a weird time to be alive, and it's good to get that training in. Take care of the ones you love. Those are the ones that matter. And we'll see you all in the next review.